Among all relationships in life, the bond between parents and children is one of the most sacred and profound. It is a connection woven from unconditional love, silent sacrifices, and an unwavering desire for continuity and legacy. From the first steps to the earliest lessons about life, parents play a pivotal role in shaping not only their children's development but also their character. Yet, as children grow, many families face a heart-wrenching question: why do some children become ungrateful, even disrespectful, toward those who have devoted their lives to loving and protecting them? This question is not merely a source of pain for parents but also a stark reminder of the hidden fractures in family relationships. Such changes are rarely a simple matter of fault or indifference. They often stem from deeper causes: ego, attachment, and the illusion of independence. These concepts, though abstract, permeate every aspect of the parent-child bond, obscuring the gratitude and understanding that form the foundation of familial love. Zen and Buddhist philosophy, with its timeless wisdom and depth, offers a fresh perspective on these challenges. These ancient teachings not only help us understand the root causes of disconnection but also guide us on how to overcome barriers of ego and misunderstanding. Through mindfulness, compassion, and mutual understanding, family relationships that seem fractured can find paths to healing. This journey is not just about better understanding oneself, it is about opening doors to rebuild stronger, more meaningful connections. How can we transform ingratitude into gratitude, and emotional distance into closeness? How can we bridge the gap between generations and foster mutual respect and love? In this exploration, we will delve into the lessons of Zen and Buddhism to uncover practical ways to move toward harmony, love, and respect in family relationships. By addressing these universal truths, we aim to illuminate a path that not only restores bonds but also strengthens the enduring connection between parents and children. The roots of ungratefulness. 1. The ignorance of interdependence. The concept of interdependence, as taught in Buddhism through the principle of dependent origination, Pratītyasamutpāda, provides profound insight into the dynamics of gratitude and familial relationships. This principle asserts that all phenomena arise through interconnected causes and conditions, emphasizing that nothing exists in isolation. However, in family dynamics, especially as children grow and develop their individual identities, this truth is often obscured, leading to a lack of understanding and appreciation for the sacrifices made by others, particularly parents. The story of the injured crane serves as a compelling illustration of this phenomenon. A farmer finds an injured crane after a storm and, moved by compassion, takes it home and cares for it with great diligence. Over time, the crane heals and regains its strength, only to fly away without so much as a backward glance. Years later, the crane returns to the farmer's field, now pecking at the grains he has sown. When the farmer confronts it, the crane responds, "I remember my hunger but not your kindness." This story encapsulates the blindness that stems from a lack of awareness of interdependence. The crane's ungratefulness is not born of malice but rather ignorance, a failure to recognize the interconnectedness of its survival with the farmer's compassion and effort. This narrative mirrors the often overlooked sacrifices of parents. Like the farmer, parents tirelessly nurture their children, providing care, guidance, and resources to support their growth. However, as children mature, their focus often shifts toward their own desires and challenges. They may fail to see the invisible labor that has supported their success. Whether it be the emotional support that bolstered their confidence, the financial sacrifices that facilitated their education, or the countless acts of love that shaped their sense of security. This lack of recognition is not necessarily intentional but arises from a similar ignorance as that of the crane, a narrow perspective that prioritizes immediate needs or individual struggles over a broader understanding of the interconnected web of care and effort that sustains them. Buddhist teachings suggest that this ignorance stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of self and others. In the developmental process, as individuals forge their identities, they often embrace the illusion of independence. This illusion can obscure the reality that their achievements and even their very existence are deeply intertwined with the contributions of others. Children, particularly as they gain autonomy, may begin to attribute their successes solely to their own efforts, neglecting to acknowledge the foundational role their parents played in shaping the conditions for those successes. This disconnect highlights the role of the ego in perpetuating a limited understanding of interdependence. Furthermore, the story of the crane reveals how gratitude is often replaced by a focus on personal struggles. The crane's response, "I remember my hunger but not your kindness," symbolizes a universal human tendency to prioritize our own suffering over the sacrifices others have made for us. This perspective, while not inherently wrong, becomes problematic when it eclipses the broader reality of interconnectedness. In family dynamics, this imbalance can lead to feelings of neglect or ingratitude. Not because children are inherently ungrateful, but because they are unaware of the intricate ways in which their lives are supported by others. Buddhism offers a pathway to overcome this ignorance through mindfulness and awareness of interdependence. By cultivating a deeper understanding of how all beings and actions are interconnected, both parents and children can foster greater empathy and gratitude. Parents, for their part, can approach their relationships with compassionate non-attachment, understanding that their love and efforts are part of a larger cycle of giving without expecting in return. Children, on the other hand, can strive to recognize the sacrifices made on their behalf and actively cultivate gratitude as a practice. The principle of interdependence reminds us that gratitude is not simply a matter of acknowledgement but a recognition of the deeper truths that bind us to one another. By embracing this understanding, families can transcend the limitations of ignorance and nurture relationships grounded in mutual respect and appreciation. In doing so, they honor not only their personal connections but also the universal truth of interconnectedness that sustains all existence. Underscore 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 underscore. 2. The role of the ego and the illusion of independence. As children grow older, they naturally develop a sense of individuality, an essential aspect of human maturation. This process, however, often fosters an illusion of independence, where the ego creates boundaries that obscure the interconnectedness of their achievements with the contributions of others, particularly their parents. This illusion leads children to believe that their successes are entirely self-made, detached from the sacrifices and support systems that enabled them to flourish. The story of the stone and the river poignantly illustrates this phenomenon. A stone rests beside a river for centuries. Over time, the river's gentle yet persistent flow smooths its rough edges, transforming it into a polished gem. One day, the stone proudly declares, "Look at my beauty, it is all my doing." The river replies, "Dear stone, without my water shaping you, you would still be rough and jagged." This exchange encapsulates the blind spot created by the ego, the inability to see the underlying forces and contributions that have shaped one's journey and achievements. Children, much like the stone, may fail to recognize the nurturing efforts of their parents. Their accomplishments, whether in education, career, or personal growth, are intricately tied to the sacrifices, guidance, and unconditional love of their families. Yet, the ego often distorts this reality, encouraging a narrative of self-reliance and self-made success. This is not necessarily a deliberate act of ingratitude but rather a result of the ego's tendency to inflate individual accomplishments while diminishing the roles of others. The ego thrives on the illusion of separation. It constructs an identity based on independence, autonomy, and self-sufficiency. While these traits are valuable for personal development, they can also create a barrier to acknowledging the interconnected nature of one's achievements. For children, this manifests in the belief that their hard work, intelligence, or talents alone are responsible for their success, overlooking the foundational support provided by their parents. Parents, in their role as caregivers, often sacrifice their time, energy, and resources to create opportunities for their children. They provide emotional stability, financial backing, and moral guidance, all of which are essential components of the child's development and eventual achievements. However, the ego's illusion of independence obscures this reality, leading to a lack of recognition and gratitude. The story of the stone and the river serves as a reminder of the transformative power of unseen forces. The stone's smoothness and beauty are not the result of its own doing but a collaboration with the river's ceaseless flow. Similarly, children's successes are rarely achieved in isolation. They are shaped by the quiet, continuous efforts of their parents, who act as the river, molding and supporting them through life's challenges. Without this foundation, the rough edges of inexperience, fear, or lack of resources would remain unpolished. This dynamic is further complicated by societal narratives that celebrate individualism and self-reliance. In many cultures, success is often framed as a solitary journey, where acknowledgement of external support is perceived as a weakness. This reinforces the ego's illusion of independence, making it even more challenging for children to appreciate the collective effort behind their achievements. The result is a disconnect that can strain familial relationships, as parents feel unrecognized for their sacrifices and children remain unaware of the depth of their interdependence. To overcome this illusion, mindfulness and self-awareness are essential. By recognizing the ego's role in fostering a false sense of independence, children can begin to appreciate the interconnected nature of their lives. This awareness fosters gratitude, not as a passive acknowledgement but as an active practice of recognizing and honoring the contributions of others. Parents, too, can benefit from this understanding by embracing compassionate non-attachment, offering their love and support without clinging to expectations of recognition or reciprocation. The story of the stone and the river ultimately teaches that beauty and success are not solitary achievements but the result of collaboration and interconnection. Just as the river's flow transforms the stone, the efforts and sacrifices of parents shape the lives of their children. Recognizing this truth allows families to move beyond the ego's illusions, fostering relationships rooted in gratitude, humility, and mutual respect. Why parents feel the pain of ungratefulness. In Zen philosophy, suffering is understood to arise from attachment. This concept becomes particularly poignant in the context of parenting, where love often gives rise to deep expectations. Parents, out of unconditional love and devotion, naturally hope for gratitude, respect, and recognition from their children. These expectations, however, can become a source of pain when unmet, as the attachment to these outcomes leads to feelings of disappointment and hurt. The stronger the expectation, the greater the suffering when reality falls short. The story of the bamboo and the wind illustrates the wisdom of resilience and non-attachment. A wise monk observed a grove of bamboo swaying gently with the wind and remarked to his disciples, "The bamboo bends with the wind but does not break. It yields yet remains rooted." When asked, "What if the wind uproots the bamboo?" the monk smiled and replied, "The bamboo's roots are deep, and its nature is resilient. If its love is genuine, it will grow anew." This story captures the essence of what it means to love without clinging and to give without expecting. Just as the bamboo adapts to the forces of the wind, parents must learn to adapt to the evolving nature of their relationship with their children. Even in the face of unfulfilled expectations, parents often pour immense energy, time, and resources into nurturing their children. They provide emotional support, guidance, and material comforts, often sacrificing their own needs and desires in the process. It is only natural that they hope for their efforts to be acknowledged and appreciated. However, when these expectations are not met, whether due to the child's lack of awareness, their growing independence, or the simple complexities of human relationships, the resulting pain can be profound. This pain, rooted in attachment to outcomes, becomes a barrier to unconditional love. Zen philosophy offers an alternative approach through the practice of compassionate non-attachment. This does not mean parents should abandon their care or involvement, but rather that they should detach from the need for specific responses or reciprocation. To love without attachment is to give freely, without the burden of expectations. It means recognizing that the act of loving itself is sufficient and that the essence of true love lies in its unconditional nature. The story of the bamboo and the wind also serves as a reminder of the importance of resilience in parenting. The bamboo, though flexible and yielding, remains deeply rooted. Similarly, parents can remain grounded in their love for their children, even when their expectations are not met. This grounding allows them to continue offering support and guidance without being overwhelmed by feelings of rejection or disappointment. Just as the bamboo regrows even if uprooted, love that is genuine and unselfish has the capacity to renew itself, adapting to changing circumstances. The practice of non-attachment also encourages parents to shift their perspective from focusing on what they receive to embracing the joy of giving. By doing so, they can experience fulfillment in the act of nurturing itself, rather than tying their happiness to external validation. This shift not only alleviates their own suffering but also creates a more harmonious relationship with their children, as love is no longer conditional on specific behaviors or outcomes. For parents, understanding and embodying the principles of non-attachment requires mindfulness and self-awareness. It involves recognizing when expectations are becoming a source of pain and consciously choosing to release them. This does not mean suppressing emotions but rather transforming them through understanding. By practicing compassionate non-attachment, parents can free themselves from the cycle of expectation and disappointment, allowing their love to flow freely and without conditions. The story of the bamboo ultimately teaches that true strength lies in flexibility and rootedness. Parents, like the bamboo, can bend with the winds of change, maintaining their deep connection to their children while letting go of rigid expectations. In doing so, they embody the essence of unconditional love, a love that nurtures without demanding, supports without controlling, and grows stronger even in the face of challenges. This approach not only reduces their own suffering but also fosters a relationship with their children that is rooted in mutual respect, understanding, and compassion. The path to reconciliation. Reconciliation within families requires a deliberate and mindful effort from both parents and children. The path to harmony begins with nurturing understanding, practicing forgiveness, and engaging in mindful communication. These principles, rooted in Zen philosophy, offer a way to transcend conflicts and foster a deeper sense of connection and mutual respect. Nurturing understanding is the foundation of reconciliation. For parents, this involves recognizing that children are not extensions of their own ambitions or possessions. Each child is an independent individual with a unique path to follow. Parents must learn to let go of the need to impose their expectations or life goals on their children and instead embrace their autonomy. This shift in perspective allows parents to support their children's growth without feeling the need to control or direct their lives. For children, nurturing understanding involves acknowledging the intricate web of interdependence that has supported their development. Every achievement, no matter how individual it may seem, is built upon the sacrifices, guidance, and love of their parents. By appreciating this interconnectedness, children can cultivate gratitude and humility, fostering a deeper respect for their parents' contributions. Practicing forgiveness is another crucial step in reconciliation. Forgiveness, as understood in Zen, is not about condoning wrongdoing but about freeing oneself from the chains of resentment and blame. For parents, this means forgiving their children for perceived ingratitude or misunderstandings. It requires recognizing that such behaviors often stem from a lack of awareness rather than malice. Children, especially during their formative years, may not fully grasp the extent of their parents' sacrifices or the depth of their love. Letting go of this resentment allows parents to approach their relationship with compassion and patience. For children, forgiveness involves understanding and accepting their parents' imperfections. Parents, like all humans, are fallible and shaped by their own experiences and limitations. By forgiving their shortcomings, children can move beyond feelings of disappointment or anger and build a relationship grounded in empathy and mutual respect. Mindful communication bridges the emotional and cognitive gaps that often lead to familial conflict. Many misunderstandings arise from unspoken expectations and unmet emotional needs. For parents, this involves sharing their experiences and sacrifices in a way that educates rather than imposes guilt. For instance, instead of saying, "I sacrificed everything for you," parents might frame their efforts as lessons, such as, "I've always supported you because I believe in your potential." This approach encourages open dialogue and avoids creating emotional barriers. For children, mindful communication means expressing their struggles and aspirations without fear of judgment. Rather than withholding emotions or thoughts, they can foster understanding by openly sharing their challenges, desires, and needs. This mutual exchange allows both parties to feel heard and valued, reducing tension and promoting a collaborative approach to resolving conflicts. Central to this process is the practice of right speech, a principle in Zen that emphasizes speaking in ways that are truthful, kind, and constructive. When parents and children engage in conversations guided by this principle, they create a safe and supportive environment for dialogue. For example, a parent might say, "I'm proud of the choices you've made and the person you're becoming," instead of focusing on perceived shortcomings. Similarly, a child might say, "I appreciate all you've done for me, and here's how I'm trying to honor that," fostering a sense of connection and shared purpose. Reconciliation also requires recognizing the transient nature of life and relationships. In Zen, the principle of impermanence reminds us that nothing is permanent, including familial bonds. Parents will not always be there to guide their children, and children will one day face the responsibilities of parenthood themselves. Understanding this impermanence inspires families to cherish their time together and make the most of their relationships while they can. It encourages parents to nurture their children without clinging to unrealistic expectations and inspires children to express gratitude and appreciation in their everyday interactions. The path to reconciliation is ultimately about transforming familial dynamics through mindfulness, compassion, and mutual respect. It invites parents to let go of attachments to specific outcomes and embrace a more flexible, supportive role in their children's lives. It encourages children to move beyond self-centered perspectives and recognize the sacrifices and efforts that have shaped their journeys. By practicing understanding, forgiveness, and mindful communication, families can bridge divides, heal wounds, and strengthen their bonds. This process is not without challenges. It requires both parents and children to confront their own egos, examine deeply held beliefs, and make a conscious effort to change ingrained patterns of behavior. However, the rewards of this effort are profound. Reconciliation fosters a sense of peace and fulfillment within families, allowing them to navigate life's challenges together with greater resilience and love. It transforms relationships that may have been strained by misunderstanding or unmet expectations into ones rooted in mutual appreciation, empathy, and enduring connection. Lessons from Zen wisdom. Buddhism teaches the principle of impermanence, anicca, a truth that extends to all aspects of life, including relationships. Nothing in life is permanent. And this includes the bond between parents and children. Parents will not always be there to guide their children, just as children will eventually assume the responsibilities of parenthood themselves. Understanding impermanence is not a call to despair but a profound invitation to cherish each moment and nurture relationships while there is still time. This recognition of impermanence encourages a shift in perspective. Instead of clinging to expectations or being burdened by unresolved conflicts, we are reminded to prioritize the present and engage in relationships with mindfulness and appreciation. For parents, this means embracing the transient nature of their role and focusing on the love and guidance they can offer now. It is an acknowledgement that their influence is not eternal, but the quality of their presence can leave an enduring impact. For children, understanding impermanence serves as a wake-up call to express gratitude and respect while their parents are still with them. This awareness fosters a sense of urgency to bridge gaps, resolve misunderstandings, and deepen connections. The bond between parents and children is often compared to an infinite circle, eternal, unbroken, and deeply interconnected. Like a circle, the relationship endures through various forms, even as it evolves over time. Despite misunderstandings, disagreements, or moments of emotional distance, this bond persists, sustained by love, shared experiences, and mutual interdependence. Through mindfulness, compassion, and understanding, this relationship can be continually strengthened, even in the face of life's challenges. Mindfulness plays a pivotal role in transforming the dynamics of familial relationships. By being fully present and aware of the fleeting nature of time, individuals can foster an environment of attentiveness and care. For parents, mindfulness involves observing their children's growth and individuality without attempting to control or shape every aspect of their lives. For children, it means acknowledging their parents' efforts and sacrifices, understanding that the opportunities they enjoy are rooted in the foundational work of their caregivers. This shared mindfulness bridges generational divides and creates a space for mutual respect and gratitude. Compassion further enhances this transformation. In the face of conflicts or perceived shortcomings, compassion allows both parents and children to see beyond immediate frustrations and recognize the deeper intentions behind each other's actions. Parents can approach their children with empathy, understanding that their struggles or resistance may stem from their journey toward independence. Similarly, children can practice compassion by appreciating that their parents, despite their flaws, act out of love and a desire to protect, This mutual compassion transforms misunderstandings into opportunities for connection and growth. Understanding acts as the final cornerstone of this transformation. It is through understanding that relationships evolve from conflict to harmony. Parents and children alike must strive to see the world through each other's eyes. For parents, this means respecting the unique challenges and perspectives their children face in a rapidly changing world. For children, it involves recognizing the depth of their parents' experiences and the sacrifices they have made. This understanding creates a foundation for trust and mutual appreciation. The infinite circle of love between parents and children is ultimately sustained by these principles. Through mindfulness, compassion, and understanding, seemingly insurmountable barriers can be broken down, allowing the relationship to flourish. Gratitude replaces ingratitude as individuals become aware of the interconnectedness of their lives. Respect supplants disrespect as both parties come to value each other's contributions and sacrifices. Emotional distance gives way to closeness as misunderstandings are resolved and mutual appreciation grows. Impermanence does not diminish the significance of relationships but rather amplifies it. The fleeting nature of time serves as a reminder to act with intention, love, and care. By embracing the impermanence of life, parents and children alike can approach their relationships with a sense of purpose, prioritizing connection and understanding over conflict and division. This mindset not only strengthens familial bonds but also honors the universal truth of interdependence that underlies all human connections. In recognizing the impermanence of relationships, families can transform the way they interact, creating a legacy of love and respect that transcends time. The circle of love remains unbroken, continually renewed through acts of mindfulness, compassion, and understanding, leaving a lasting imprint on future generations. Conclusion. As we conclude, let us reflect on the timeless wisdom of Zen and Buddhism. The love between parents and children is a sacred connection, often clouded by ego, attachment, and misunderstanding. Yet, it is never beyond healing. Take a moment today to reflect on your relationships. If you are a parent, embrace compassionate non-attachment. If you are a child, acknowledge the sacrifices that shaped your life. Through this practice, we honor not only our families but also the universal truth of interdependence that binds us all. Thank you for watching. Let us continue this journey of mindfulness together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more reflections and stories that inspire.